Any questions? Now we are actually going to see how to do the stride or steps in a string slice. So now we will have another additional parameters there. So a stride or steps specifies the number of characters to jump after retrieving each character in the slice. So first you define the starting and end, you slice it out, and then you take the step, which character you want to extract out. So we actually add another additional column in the string indexing where we specify a stride. So this one, let us do exercise straight away, then we'll know. So this is the syntax. So it will be, this will be start, you have a colon, you have end, you have colon, and you have the step or the stride. So this is the syntax, start, end. Start, end is same like what we did before, but now we have additional one more parameter. So again, let us define back our string. Let's say if this is hello world. Now let's say if we want to start from 1, so what does this mean? Remember, whenever you already see two elements, here itself is already string slicing. The earlier one, when you just specify just one, you are just accessing one particular letter from that string. Now when you do this, it's already string slice. You are taking from element 1 until element 7, until element 7. Is that okay? So it's 1 until 7. So which is, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's supposed to give you hello wo only, right? Oh, sorry, it's from 1, my bad. Hello world, correct. From 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only this part that will be presented. So if you doing without, do you know the difference what is output with the print statement and without the print statement? This, whenever you print the X string, which is actually it shows you the single quote, which is also denoting that this is a string. Okay, so if you put print, it doesn't show that. Is that okay? Now we're going to add another one more column, which is, let's say, a step of 2. Now what happens now? So this means you are taking every character in the step of 2. So for example, now this is the hello world, right? So this is the first one, this is the 7th one. This I'm talking before we include the stride, the step. So the first one always must be included, first one come, then you start counting 1, 2. So you include every character in the step of 2. So which means 1, okay, that one you have to put, you have to print. Then you'll take after that 1, 2. You include that one. So first, what's the first one? The first one always you'll include 1, E. Then you're taking a step of 2, right? L, that L you include. Then 1, 2, which is space. Include that. So E, L, space. Then 1, 2, O. So if you print out this one, hello. Managed to understand this? So always remember, start always will have there, start will be there. Starting point, whatever letter is the starting will be there. Then from that next 1, 2 you count. So if you understand the steps, then it's easy. Now positive one is okay, right? Positive one quite okay, no problem. Ejects can define. Okay, let's say for example, I just to test your understanding, what happens if we take step 3? So let's go back this one, right? Step 3, what happens? You will have E, then 1, 2, 3, EO, then 1, 2, 3. So you're supposed to get EO. Got it? Why we got this? Clear? Can we move on to the next one? So positive indexing is okay, clear. Now we can also specify a negative stride. Now this is where it is not the same as how we did earlier for the string splicing. If you are going to use a negative stride to step backwards through the string, the first index should always be greater than the second index. So let's say if the syntax string is still the same, you're still having the same hello world. Now let us actually try to use only the negative indexing. So this one you have to specify like this. So when you do this 10 to 0 means how does it? I'm sorry. Okay, another thing that you want to notice that if you do in this kind of syntax, like the earlier one, it doesn't also print out right, because in string splicing you have to specify the starting and the ending point. For this case, the first index, why it has to be larger than the second one? Because we are using the negative step. It's going to go from right like this. So that's why you have to actually specify the larger index first, until which, because you're going to start from the right hand side, because you're going to you're going to jump, the step is coming from the right hand side. So that is why you have to, that means this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, the whole thing. By right, if you want to display hello world, you will be putting 0, 11 or 0, empty, you will get hello world. Now because you are using the negative index, negative stride, let's say negative 2. So negative step means it is coming from this side. The step, the movement is coming from the right hand side. So what is index number 10? D, right? So you will include D, which is the first element. So D should be there. Then until, so you are actually going from the right until here. Why you are taking this sequence? Because of this part, because you are doing the negative step. That's why the first index has to be larger than the second one. So until where? 0. Where is 0? Here, right? But will it go until 0? What is the rule for this one? It is -1 or the element before, right? In this case, because the negative, the element before is E. So it will not include H. But what is the step? It is -2. So you include D, then you move 1, 2. So you have D, R, then 1, 2, we have drw, then 1 2. Do you see the movement? It is negative, that's why it's coming from the right hand side like that. 2, then you have O. So drwo, then 1 2 L, and then you may think, this is also sometimes student make the mistake, is 1 2. So you end up putting the H, but the H doesn't come under this splice, it's only until E, right? So the last letter will be L. So if you run this, you get drwol. If we want to get the H, what should we do in this code itself? If we want to get the H, empty the which one? Yes, very good. So let's copy this one, that is the next one. If you want to get the H, then you leave it empty. Remember, because when the negative stride, you cannot write here -1, right? -1 already means the starting, so it's already wrong already. 10 and 1 is actually -1, doesn't make, so it will give error. So when you put empty, it also means -1, which is 0. So this one you will get drwolh. Is that okay? So again, a wrap up. The first one that we started off with single element, square bracket, straightway specify the index. Then the second part we saw string slicing, which has 2 parameters, starting and end. So the first parameter is the start, the second one is the end. For the start and end, you can use both positive or negative indexing, but take note that the end is always the element before. Now in stride we have another one more, which is the step. So if we are using positive step, the start and end is like normal, then you can use positive step. But if you're using a negative step, then the first element must be larger than the second one. Then only it allows to negative step. So this is what we did. This is what we said. Index 0 of the string is corresponding to the character H is now included. If the first and second indices are omitted, this one, if both also you keep empty, when we step backward in the string, the first index is set to be the end of the string and the second index is set to be the beginning. Do you get this point? So what this means is that if you leave the same thing, again we are talking about negative indexing, positive straightforward lah. So let's say x is the same, hello world, why always, this is if we are not specifying, then we are doing this. So the start and end, this is what we are actually saying. So when we use negative index, what happens? This one is automatically is the end of the string, which is on the right hand side here, this one D, and this is before H lah. I mean it allows you to get until H you get. But let's say if you use positive, what is the starting? Yes, capital H. And what is the ending? D. Very good. So automatically it assigns. So if you do this again, the same thing also you will get. So depending on the step that you have put here, automatically it knows how to set the starting and ending. All okay? Yes.
So if we use positive, right, for the step.
Uh-huh.
For the start, if we use 0, same output.
You mean this one? Yeah. But for positive index, if you don't specify anything, it is actually equals to 0, same. So this one, which means until D, or length x, which actually gave 11 minus 1, 10, is also the same as this. It is the same. It gives the same result. Is that okay? Any other question? So in test, don't get panic. Look at the question carefully, and then you need to write down what is the output, right? Okay, so let's look at this one. Now you can also replicate a string multiple times by using asterisk operator, which is it multiplies. You can multiply with a specific integer value. So for example, let's say if you have 1, 2, 3, then you want to have 3 copies of this string, so you just type. So you define, let's say, a string. This is string, not numeral not numeric. This is string. So don't get fooled by 1, 2, 3 there. So you can just do this. Just multiply the string by 3, and you will see you will get the same, the string multiplied 3 times. Excuse me. Only this part. So you get 3, 3, 3.